We do this players-only segment every single post-game show. I got Jerry Azumah to my right, Corey Wootton, Lance Briggs to my left, and they will have Brick by Brick after show with Braggs later on. We will keep it going throughout the night as we always do. But, guys, I always like to get your thoughts on the defense. We were talking earlier about how, man, if I knew we were going to get this defensive performance tonight, I think I would have felt pretty good about the victory. And that's obviously not what happened. So, Briggs, I'll give you a chance to chime in first. What'd you think?
Well, I think first off, thank you to the 2025 Chicago Bears for giving us quite a treat. This season has been quite a treat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think what you've instilled in all of the Bears fans, we've been waiting for a very long time, and including myself. And with that being said, watching Jaquan Brisker, he had 14 tackles. He played today like he knew where they were going to be. He played violent.
Fast.
He played sudden. He played like he had a sense of urgency. Play like that all the time. You know what I mean? Yep. I would always say this to guys, we'd play against ASU in the final game, and it's like, in this final game you play your best and you have these crazy stats against ASU, against our rival. And I'm like, well, the difference between a lot of you players and myself is I played every game like it was ASU. I started from game one.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between and when you see him play at the level that he played today, like I believe that he can do that on a weekly basis.
Correct.
Right.
On a weekly basis. It was fun to watch him fly around there and make those plays. It was fun to see what they did on third down, because on third down was the key. Yeah. The key. They were the Rams were 5 of 16. When you hold an offense, you're getting off the field, you're giving the ball back to your offense, you can win like that.
Exactly. And the Rams are a great third down team.
Great.
Dennis Allen did such a great job after that first drive.
Yeah.
Just with adjustments. Usually it had been the second half, right? They play a bad first half. But with the adjustments, it was awesome. He was disguising the coverages, bringing guys off the edge. Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker.
Coming free.
Correct. And when you talked about with Brisker, because previously years, his eyes would be in the backfield too much. He'd get beat on some of those routes. But he played one of his best games. He was disciplined on his keys. When the ball advanced, he hit that hole.
He knew it, right?
And it was awesome to see. And obviously, like, the defensive line and the pressure, it's sporadic. But I thought they did such a great job of working together, and especially Zoom, something you touched on, is tightening the coverage. Get physical with these guys.
Yeah.
And that really benefited the Bears. And what we saw, Matthew Stafford, a high-powered offense that usually averaged 450 yards a game, they held him to 319 or something like that. So that's incredible, right? The way they knocked out the run game after those first couple drives. I mean, defense really carried this game.
This was a very difficult offense, to go against. Matchup-wise, I mean, Puka is the guy, obviously. But what I like and what I really enjoyed with these defensive backs specifically was the fact that they challenged them at the line of scrimmage. They got physical.
You saying they heard you?
they
were listening.
They finally were listening. They walked up and were challenging these wide receivers, and they got physical with them, and they had to earn everything that they got. And like you said, Bayard played extremely well. Brisker was incredible. Like, he was playing with great technique, great fundamentals. He just was anticipating the plays, and he was going out there and actually making them. So whenever you can do that, it's a good thing. And look, the weakness of the Chicago Bears has been their defense. It's been that pass rush, and making pockets uncomfortable for quarterbacks to throw the ball. But we were able to get to the quarterback today. I think we had about 4 sacks as well. So the bad thing is that there was no takeaways, obviously, and we live and die by those takeaways. But they were fundamentally sound when they had to. They were making plays when they had to, and they were being physical at the point of attack. So they holding this high-powered offense to 20 points at the very end is something to, like, tip your hat at.
Absolutely. You get off the field on third down, and there are games where, takeaways, they come in bunches, but there are times where it doesn't happen. But if you're getting off on third down, you're still and a lot of times, there are games where it's like, okay, listen, their defense is good, our defense is good, we're going to play the field position game. All right, that's the way it is, and I understood that. Like, and so by keeping the Rams kicking the ball, and giving your offense another opportunity, that's all. At the end of the day, that's what you're there to do.
Right.
All right. You want to score defensively, but if you're giving the offense an opportunity, shoot. You can
and then
win.
also, I mean, the offense had three interceptions. Caleb had 3 interceptions. Yep. So, there was a couple of times where the defense was put in some bad situations, and they had to come out there and just put out the fire. Yep. And they did that. So, kudos to them, man. Like, that's a good thing to see head into the offseason. But those are things that I feel comfortable about because now they've shown us that they can actually do it.
One of the things I think, too, when that happens, let's say, the third interception happens. We're so conditioned, in this game of football to say, to drop our shoulders and our head down like, oh, whoa, and being disappointment. But one of the teaching points as a defensive coach, you have a new opportunity to go out there and shine.
Right.
Don't sit over there and point at the offense and say, oh, the offense did this. Oh, why can't the offense do that? No, you have an opportunity to go out there and win the game.
Yeah, they play like it.
Right. Go out there and win the doggone game. All right?
Which is why we were getting frustrated sitting here at a couple of those third downs, especially that last one in overtime. I think it was 3rd and 6, right, Woot?
Yeah.
Where, I mean, hey, if these guys are going to sit here and be like, why are you playing so far off? Why are you playing so far off? And see it pre-snap.
Like, no shot right. Yeah.
And I get that not every third down is going to be perfect, but there were a couple times in that game where it was like.
Yeah, they definitely weren't perfect. Like setting the edge towards the end.
Oh yeah,
that was bad, and they were able to score touchdowns that way.
And there were times where they were in empty. Yep. They're in empty. We're showing a 7-man pressure, 8-man pressure.
Hot route all day.
It's the ball's coming out fast
right now.
And so you have a stick route, which is it's like a 3 to 4 yard turnaround where it's in the open window. And Byard was slow getting to the ball. Like right. It's the ball's got to come out now.
Exactly. Play it. Anticipate.
Right. Anticipate. Yeah. He beats you on a double move. Hell, we're not getting to the doggone quarterback. Hats off to him.
I mean, we did that on a 3rd down. It was like a 3rd and 8 at a critical point in the game, late in the game, and the DBs were off on the wide receivers. Yeah. It's like, dude, just play. They're not going to go behind you. They're not going to go behind you.
Play the situation.
Play those sticks.
Yes.
Play those sticks.
Mm-hmm. Which you could also argue on the interception in overtime if we switch to the offensive side of the ball, because I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that too. I mean, kind of playing the situation. We still haven't heard from Ben. We're going to hear from him actually next after this segment. I mean, I'm really curious to know really what happened on that interception, but it also, like, you're 20 yards away from being in field goal range to get to the NFC Championship game. It just seemed unnecessary.
Yeah, I know.
6 points were left on the board.
Yeah. That's what I was saying before this. I said this game was on Ben Johnson. I don't care what anybody says. For his coaching. He lost in this game. I love Ben Johnson, but coaching malpractice a little bit on his end.
At some point, you got to take the points.
100%.
At some point, you have to
just
take
think about that. If you settle for one field goal in that game, after Cole Kmet scores, you win by 3.
The hard part about that is we know better, but everybody that's sitting and watching the Bears play wants them to go for it on 4th down. But it's the wise, the old hearts that are like, this is not the way you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to hit on soft 12. You're not supposed, like, there's rules in the game. There's things you're supposed to do and things you're not supposed to do.
Right.
And so, eventually it's going to come and it's going to bite you in the ass. And it bit Dan Campbell in the ass, and it bit Ben in the ass.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And I think I think there's a lot for him to learn from this season in some of these moments. I mean, really, the only one I really had a problem with was the first one.
The first one,
the 21st,
and I wonder.
Line.
I'm curious your guys' perspective on the idea that, like, it seems like to me, when he calls a play that should theoretically work, and like did work. No, like it did work, but they dropped the ball. You know what I mean? Like he's sitting there on the sideline. I almost can't blame him from a human nature standpoint, being like, I called the touchdown there. It was a touchdown, and they dropped the ball. You get the fourth down, it's so tempting to be like, we need a touchdown here because that should have been a touchdown. I almost feel like
I wish I had glasses. I could push him up like this.
What'd you say, Professor?
The theoretical stuff, I love that because from offensive coaches, they like, especially the smarter ones, they live and die by that.
Yeah.
You know, we played UCLA. We lost to them. Okay, we ran four quarterback keeps in a row. And you know what our offensive coordinator said? He said, theoretically, it should have worked.
It's called getting too cute. You know?
Right?
But the point I'm trying to get is I think some of the good coaches, though, are able to, like, emotionally separate themselves from that and be like, you know what? Let's take our 3 points.
I actually think that this is a good thing for Ben.
Yeah.
I think this is a good thing for Ben, like, moving forward.
Yeah.
I think that he's a really good coach, and he's solid, and he has some really good minds around him as well. But I think that he's going to go back and really evaluate the whole season and evaluate these last couple of games and the last couple of drives and been like, you know what? Maybe I do need to tone it back a little bit and get some points and some momentum.
Who's the guy
and
that
then
does
go
that,
from there.
though? My question is, who's the guy that does that? And so part of why I never wanted to coach at this level is because of who you coach with matters.
Yeah.
Okay? I have one of my best friends, right now, he was the head coach of the Toronto Argonauts. He's now with the Ottawa Red Blacks, okay? He's one of the people that if he said, hey, Lance, you want to coach, actually he has done, and I've said no. But, like, that's when I would consider, because when you get into these situations, who's going to challenge you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't
Like,
have a yes,
I know
yes.
I can get on that phone and say, Ryan, what the hell are you doing?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
what are we doing?
You don't have
You
yes
know?
men around you. That
Right.
say,
You don't.
whatever you
You
say.
know, and I'm not saying he has them.
Yeah.
But I need to be around somebody that I know that I can say that, and we can get into it.
Yeah.
We can get over it because it's all in respect and emotions fly in football. But coach, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You better not.
Exactly.
You know. So it's just interesting, man. And as if I were a head coach, I need people on my
person.
staff that were going to challenge me, challenge my decisions.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that we are all on that earphone,
Headset,
that headset, and we're challenging. And I said, okay, based off of what you guys have all said, this is what I believe this is the best decision now.
Special teams coach should have been like, no. Like, we need to kick this
We
ball
need to
right
kick
now.
it.
Dave
But
Tobe,
the question is,
he
do
would've-
they,
Dave Tobe, yeah.
would have been yelling from.
do they have? But the question is, and I think it's a great point. But do they have that process in place? Right?
It might be.
We don't know.
Because sometimes, I mean, you know, all I can speak at is my experience at the high school level. But like, it depends. Like, sometimes I think those discussions are happening, and then sometimes it's just like the head coach makes his decision.
Yeah.
And he's the head coach, and you live with that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know that for like I don't think we've learned. That's still learning more about Ben Johnson and his process.
Yeah.
But usually that's a play ahead. Hey, like you call your third down play, and then you go back on the headset because you can't talk to the quarterback anymore, and you go, all right, if we don't get this, guys, what do you think? What do you think? And you take some input right then, because that better happen then. Because if you wait until it's actually fourth down, it's too late.
Right.
Then you're just like, gotta go. You guys gotta go with your instinct.
A couple times when the clock got down too much, you're like, come on, like, are we gonna make?
Right. As a defensive coordinator, I need to hear it immediately. I need to hear exactly, if you're the D-line coach, I need to hear what they're doing, what the offensive line's doing, if they're gutting us out, wherever it's happening, or if there's a weak link right now, DBs, I need the DB coach to tell me, hey, listen, they're playing off, they're pressing, hey, this is what they're doing. They're in a lot of 2, they're in a lot of 1, because as soon as I hear that, I know exactly what we need to run. Right. And then I'm going to say, hey, listen, what do you feel about this right here? Yeah, yes, coach. You know, we're like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, so it's all about feedback. And
the last thing we were talking about before you guys got on is how hard it is to make it. Like, you know, say, oh, well, it's next year. Think about that, right? You made the Super Bowl in 2006, right? We got to the NFC Championship in 2010, 2011 season.
Yeah.
But then never again after
Never
that.
again.
Right? 10-6 to 2012 season, we're looking like we're world beaters on defense. We're making it all the way. don't make the playoffs. So that's Cole Kmet was talking a little bit about that in the locker room, how hard it is to continue to do it. Because, we should be better on paper. We're going to get pass rushers. But sometimes there's that magic in the season. And this season had that magic.
Could have a year where you lose, 14 players like the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Injuries. There's a lot of things that come into play, man. And, we had something as simple as losing our defensive coordinator. We lost Ron Rivera. And organization thought that we'd be okay because we had basically our whole defense still intact. It made a difference.
Mel Tucker.
And Mel Tucker. Yeah, it makes a difference. All of that. Everybody that comes in and puts this team together, that this 2025 team, it matters.
Guys, great stuff. It was a good segment. And it's tough that it's over, but it's been fun with you guys all year.
Yeah.
Doing this with you guys on the postgame show. And a lot more coming up because as soon as we're done here on CHGO, we got the Brick by Brick after show.
That's right.
And so Jerry Azumah, Lance Briggs will be back here with Greg Braggs, and I'm sure it'll be a nice, calm show.
It's going to be fun.
Hard
it's going to be fun.
to say goodbye.